Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you guys my Echeveria Mebina. As you can see, I have three of them again. Three of them again. Um, I'm gonna spin it around a little bit. Show you guys. They all kind of look different. Testing out these various camera angles over here. So this one on the top was my very first one. It grew a good amount. So it started off in a 3-inch pot, um, and I moved it to this 4-inch. Um, this is just, I guess this is generally how it looks, the rosette. Only the bottom leaf is big, and the top just doesn't seem to get any bigger. It kind of, at first I thought that it was stretching, and I did think about cutting and replanting the top, but it was doing well and it was healthy and there was no need for that. I mean, I was just keeping watch on the stretching, and as it turns out, it's not stretched. It's just it's that's just how it looks, I guess. And it actually put out an offset. It put out a baby, so that's super exciting. Trying not to like hit the camera over here. So it put out a baby. It's doing really well. I have no idea what color they are supposed to be. I think for the most part it just has these like sort of red lining. Um, and as you can see, or I don't know if you can see, but I'm putting a good amount of pressure on this, and it's sort of, I don't want to hurt it, but it's like rock hard right now. So I haven't watered it, at least not in the last couple of weeks, and it's rock solid, so it's good. It's perfect. Um, and I think these, just looking at these three that I have, you can tell that they put out offsets fairly easily. I mean, I don't ever fertilize my succulents. I've read and heard that that's not necessary, and so far that I seem to agree, because I haven't really fertilized any of my succulents and they do pretty well. um and this one is a variegated Mabina. um at first, for some reason, I thought it was crested or whatnot, because it sort of had this weird look, and but then upon closer look I realized it's just um another face. It's a what do you call it? Duo? I don't even know if that's the right name. I'm just like making up names. But these are putting off a lot of babies as well. I don't know if you can see. Can't really tilt them that much, but there's one, two, three on the bottom, and then of course there's a left and a right, and the right side is much bigger than the left side. So it's a good little cluster. This one hasn't grown much since I potted it into this, and this is a 4-inch terracotta pot, but it's actually pretty deep. This one, I want to say 4 inches. I might have potted it in a. It might be too big for this one. I mean, generally, as a rule of thumb, they do say that like pot it with just like a centimeter of extra space around the succulent, and this is clearly at least 2 centimeters. It's grown a little bit, but this one is also like pretty solid, I want to say. I don't want to touch too much. Now, out of these three, my problematic one is this one. Now this one has been sitting here for a good 2 months, I want to say. I don't think, maybe, I'm not sure, but I don't think it's rooted yet. it just feels it's kind of like still shaky. Usually if it's fully rooted, when you sort of touch, they're like it's solid. I don't want to. They have little pointy tips, and I don't want to really shake them, but yeah, it's supposed to be this solid if it's fully rooted. Now this one, it's not really solid, and it's still shaky if I touch it. And this one has two babies on the side, but oh no, I stand to be corrected. There's three. Um, this actually came to me by accident in one of my online orders. I asked for a Madiba, and they sent me a Mabina. And I already, as you can see, have two of them. So I emailed them, and they were nice enough to send me the correct one. So that's how it came to me, but it's like it's shaky. Once again, I don't want to take it out of the pot. I'm just gonna give it a little bit more time, or at least wait until the summer is over. And if it does, because right now, as you can see, it's not. It doesn't look sick. It doesn't look, this, it's not really necessarily giving out a lot of dried leaves as well. I have been watering it. I'm just wondering if just the roots never had a chance to establish properly. And sometimes that happens. I feel like they do say if you miss the watering sort of time, um, then the roots, like supposedly when you pot them, they're supposed to start putting out those white new roots. And if you don't water them um, just when they sort of at that time when they need it, then the new white baby roots kind of dry up and die. So then you have to start the process over again. But that's provided that the succulent is not is undergoing any kind of other hardship. So right now it is hard for them because it's summer, it's hot, and I just you can never tell. I mean, if only plants could talk, right? I need some water, but no. um yeah, so I've been giving it water. I think I watered it, I want to say at least like um 2 3 times, not a lot of amount, because after you first pot, I usually give it, I try with all my might. I try really hard not to give it water right away, because if they don't have roots and you give them water, it's just gonna, and God forbid if it doesn't, dry up in the pot, then uh, you're asking it for it to die of like rot. So I'm pretty sure I waited at least minimum like 5 to 7 days. It really depends if there wasn't some roots to begin with. If there wasn't any roots, I would give it a minimum like 10 days, because that's supposedly how long it takes these succulents to put out new roots. And that's all like guessing game, right? You can't keep pulling them out of pots. You can't keep poking them around. That's just not going to help them establish any roots. So I've been just kind of like watching it, and hoping that it's gonna establish. But as you can see, like the rosettes, the face looks fine. It must be a little bit stressed, because look at the color difference between this and this one, right? This one has the edging, the red lining around the leaves, and the pointy tips is a lot more. It's a lot more noticeable in this one versus that one over here. So yeah, I mean, like as far as like the sun requirement, I mean, uh, it's outside, on my plant shelf under the same the shade, as all of them have, well, pretty much get the same amount of sun. But with this one, I actually have this variegated one on the right side of my plant shelf, which gets the least amount of sun, because it gets the morning sun, and by afternoon it doesn't get any direct sunlight. So which is supposedly needed for these variegated ones, because if they get too much sun, the leaves can burn, and it'll sunburn, or it'll dry up and die or whatnot. So that's what I've heard. So the variegated ones, I try to keep it in an area that's more shaded. Um, than these regular ones. This has been sort of like these two have been sitting in a similar area in the center of my plant shelf, and it seems to be, yeah. I mean, obviously, that I don't think sun is the issue for this one. I really don't know. So I'm just gonna wait until um it gets a little cooler, and then I'll pull it out of the pot and see what's going on with that. As far as water, I feel like these are also not that finicky. Um, I water them when I feel like they're sort of soft to the touch and limp, like this one. But the only problem with this one is I don't want to keep watering it because I don't think water is the issue with this one. It just hasn't established. So this one, it's still firm, but not as firm as this one. I'm gonna have to check my sort of um, list, my file, and see when was the last time I ordered. And there is like rain in the forecast later in the afternoon, so I'm not going to water um, any succulents today. Possibly later in the night after the rain stops, if it stops before the end of the night. But I'm gonna give it a little bit more time. And this, I also do think that I potted in too big of a pot. So I might, if there is no growth, like by fall, if there's no growth, and it just kind of looks the same, then I might pull it out of the pot. But until then, um, uh, it looks, I mean, it looks good. So I'm gonna keep it as is. I'm just very curious about how um, how they're gonna change in the fall. So I'll keep you guys updated, of course. And I think that's it today. Thanks for watching. Bye now.